Good evening, folks. Well, what is going on in the swing states? I mean, we could look at it different ways, including New Mexico. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, that's one thing. If you want to look at it another, that's different. But overall, it's going crazy. At one way, did the U.S. Supreme Court just turn the green light on for a civil war? I mean, Texas. After they dismiss the Texas lawsuit, Texas is talking like the Civil War all over again. They're talking about seceding from the Union. They want to do law-abiding states. They want all law-abiding states to secede from the Union. That includes every state that followed their suit. Pretty much all former Confederate states except for, let me think here. Virginia, I think? Yeah. Except for Virginia. Now, states that didn't follow suit, that were not a part of the Union, were West Virginia, Ohio, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Arizona. Arizona, and then you got Montana, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Nebraska, pretty much every state along the Mississippi River except for Iowa would be seceding from the Union. If that all went to, if that actually does happen. All those states would secede from the Union. And supposedly, this is just a theory. They would either be called the United States of America or the new United States of America, while the current United States, which is what we are right now before we do secede from the Union, is either called the Communist States of America or the United States, or it keeps this thing, but we just be called the new United States. Just saying, since they don't want to follow that. That's what Texas idea is. Now, on to my other part of this. The 12th Amendment with the Electoral College. Very interesting situation we got here. Since Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, and Michigan all did it together. Since those 7 states did dual cast together, they did it both for Biden and Trump. It goes 27 to 23 all together. In the House. You may think, the Democrats in the House, so how's Trump going to win? Well, really simple. State legislatures, not necessarily legislatures, but congressmen from states had to vote, who are in states, and the congressmen, there's more congressmen from states, Republican states in there. The Republicans are from states, are in there. So that means they get to vote. So, but, however, this favors more of Donald Trump than it does him. Because Georgia can't vote. None of the contested states can vote. And those are all highly Democrat. So that means all the Republican states can vote. And it's a highly handed over for a Donald Trump victory. And D.C. can't vote either. The other similar situation, last time this situation ever happened, was in 1824. Very similar situation happened in 1824 when John Quincy Adams won. He didn't win the popular vote, just like 4 years ago when Donald Trump didn't win the popular vote against Clinton. However, this is how it all worked out. Andrew Jackson won the popular vote of 99 votes. John Quincy Adams won 84. Let me read you something in my book here. In the 1824 election, 16 of the nation's states chose their electors for president by popular vote, while 6 left the choice of state legislatures. And all 4 candidates campaigned for office. On election day, Andrew Jackson, the hero of the Battle of New Orleans, great battle that one was, won the most popular electoral votes. But none of the candidates, Jackson, Adams, Treasury Secretary Henry Crawford, or Senator Henry Clay of Kentucky, won the majority required for re-election. Thus, the decision fell to the House of Representatives. When Clay was eliminated, he advised Kentucky's representatives to vote for Adams. Despite instructions from Kentucky legislature to vote for Jackson with Clay's support, Adams won the election with 13 states to 7 for Jackson and 4 for Crawford. With Adams selected Clay as his new Secretary of State, Jackson's supporters charged that Adams and Clay had devised a corporate bargain to steal the presidency from the popular hero that charge dodged Adams throughout his term. And the votes were by as 99 electoral votes for Jackson, 84 for John Quincy Adams, who was in second place. William Crawford, out of Georgia, got 41, and Henry Clay got 37. That's the amount of electoral votes that were back in those days, back then. That was the last time this has ever happened. I mean, with the contested states, with dual process of electors being casted, this is going to be a challenge. This is where the challenge happens. Now, with that being said, this is how it happens. With those lawsuits going on, most likely Wisconsin will be thrown back due to the fact the court case that was going on in the Supreme Court went his way, went Donald Trump's way, so that most likely will go back to him. Potentially. Not saying it will, but potentially it will. Then you have Georgia. That's being heard down there. That's being taken to the U.S. Supreme Court, most likely. I'm not really sure what's going to happen there in all of the other states. And same with the Judiciary Committee and all the other states. Interesting to hear. It's really going to get interesting. Now, if you look at it at a different angle here, it's going to get very interesting. Because Mike Pence is the president of the Senate. And of course, Donald Trump's the president of the House in the United States, but we'll get to that here in just a second. However, when they do the electoral counts goes through the Senate first. It's counted. This is how the 12th Amendment works. It counts. They count each electoral vote throughout the vice president does it first. And if he sees there's a challenge, he sees 7 challenges 7 electoral challenges. What's going to happen? He takes those challenges and takes them to the House. Then the House votes for the president. Now, since those 7 states can't vote, it's a 27 to, let me think about that here. I'm not really sure how that would work. I think it would be 27. I'm not really sure where the Democrats hold office at. I know before, if it was only Georgia, Pennsylvania, and another one, it would be only 27, 23, but you subtract the other states out, I don't know who would own the majority, but 7 votes, Georgia holds steady lead. Republicans hold the lead 27 to 20 with the Senate, with the House there. But D.C. can't vote because they're not a state. Now you advance further. Every state votes for the president, except for the contested states. Now, say that there's only 3 states that can't vote due to the contested. But I'm just making this up. Say the 7 states that are contested cannot vote. They're all Democrat. And there's 27 Republican states. And they're all Republican states except for Arizona. It's a Republican state, but it's being contested. So it's Republican. So, with that being said, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. It'd be 26-17. In favor of Donald Trump. 25-17 in favor of Donald Trump. Donald Trump wins the House. So now the votes go over to the Republicans. Now it goes to the Senate, where the Republicans are. It's Republican-controlled House. Pence gets elected 52 to 48. Because his House outdoes him there. 52 to 48. 52 Republicans, 48 Democrats. I don't see any Democrats crossing the aisle and voting Republican. Not a chance in hell. They'll vote Mike Pence. Now say it's different. Say it's the opposite way, and there's Democrats over there. It'd be like it was back in some of the old times when there was Democrat and Republican. There'd be a Democrat right beside the president. There'd be a Republican and a Democrat for the first time since after the Civil War. Because that's how it would be. It used to be that the runner-up, which would either be a Democrat or a Republican, would be the vice president. Which is how it was years ago, right after the Civil War. Well, with that being said, that's most likely what will happen, worst case scenario. But most likely, who knows what will happen? Nobody knows. Well, I gotta get out of here. I got things I gotta do. Peace.